lead the way, Tom.
So what did you get done today, Ryan? What were you happy with?
I was happy that we had made it through a practice, right? This is a first practice as a head coach for me personally. And to be able to see it sort of play out and be clean, I thought it was good. Day one, obviously, so there's a lot of things to correct, but just the attitude, the effort, I thought guys were competing. There was good back and forth, and not a whole lot of mental errors. So that was good to see from a day one spring ball practice.
What are some of the goals this spring?
Goals just keep improving. Just kind of find an identity of who we are offensively, defensively. What we're good at. Try to find out exactly who we got on the roster and what they're capable of doing, so that we have a good idea of how to attack the recruiting aspects and heading into the fall to make sure we got the right guys in the locker room to go compete and win a championship.
As a defensive mind, what are some of the biggest points on defense that you're looking to change with Purdue's scheme?
Obviously it's not Purdue's, the old Purdue scheme anymore, right? It's our scheme, like the new Purdue scheme. So everything changed defensively, and as a defensive-minded guy and a former coordinator, you want to see communication. You want to see guys aligned correctly and having their eyes in the right spot and being detailed with those type of fundamentals.
Aside from staying healthy, what's the biggest thing you need to get out of these spring practices?
Just improvement. Like I said before, you want to find out what you're good at offensively, defensively, and what you got on the roster.
We talked a lot about competition in spring practice. What's been your message to the guys about that competition aspect?
Yeah, there's a winner and a loser in everything that we do. This is a results-driven business, right? And in the fall, people keep score, so we got to understand that and have a sense of urgency in everything we do, whether it's individual or 7-on-7 or team. There's got to be the mindset's got to be I'm competing because somebody's keeping score.
And how nice has it been just after all the stuff that you guys have been through as a coaching staff the last few months, get everything ready? How nice is it to just finally get on the practice field?
Oh, it's great. This is why you do it, right? It's to play football, to coach football. So to be at this point in the calendar and get a practice in has been awesome. I thought Coach Rowe did a great job those first 8 weeks of getting them prepared to be ready to play football. I thought the guys were in good shape. Day one in helmets and spiders, but we got a long way to go. But I'm pleased with where we're at.
A lot of college teams have sort of a mantra, especially when there's a new program, there's a new mantra. Do you have a repetitive saying almost that you are telling these guys right off the bat in spring?
We got a lot of things that we're hanging our hat on. Our three sort of foundational pillars, if you will, are just being competitive, being tough, and being disciplined. And I think in every phase of the game, if that is our identity, then we'll have a chance to be successful in the fall.
Ryan, tell me about the materialization of Marcus Johnson and just how quickly that happened and how happy you are that it did happen and having him on your staff.
Yeah, obviously there was a sense of urgency just with the timing of everything. Obviously I had a previous relationship with Marcus and got to see him work firsthand. And he's been on my short list from the start. And I'm happy that we were able to attract him here, and I'm happy that the administration gave us the resources to go get him.
Gotcha. As you go day by day, week by week, how do you determine success when you get done with these practices?
Improvement. Like practice 2's got to be better than practice 1. You don't want to see the same mistakes being made, specifically from the same player or same position group. And so they're just steady improvement, just not wasting days.
What's it like being the head coach now? We obviously, when we were here, we saw you working with Grant and then Sam a lot, being defensive backs. What's it like now having to oversee it all?
It's been fun, really. Obviously I'm still getting used to doing that, right? Not just being so centric on one position or one side of the ball. I do think it's good for me to get around the offense too, just to have gain relationships with those guys on that side of the ball and just kind of know what's going on as a team. So it's an adjustment, but it's been a fun one.
I assume you anticipate getting in that portal after this is all over and finding out where we need to patch some holes, right?
Absolutely.
Just, I guess, how do you evaluate as you're going along, not knowing a whole lot about these guys other than their weight room work and what you've seen on film? So.
Yeah, that was the goal in the spring, is to find out what we'll need. You know what I mean? And obviously, day one coming off the grass, I don't know what that answer is yet. You know what I mean? And I probably won't know that answer until after spring is done. But yeah, it will be important for us to do so. And we're going to do everything we can as a staff to give our guys in the locker room the best chance to go have success in the fall.
Any thoughts on Hudson Card in his first day?
Yeah, I thought he had a good command of the offense. I think he's a sharp young man and knows where to go with the football. Obviously, he's uber talented. There's a couple plays I'm sure you'd like to have back. It's day one of spring, but like I said, without having watched the tape, I feel pretty good about where we are right now.
Are there any players, Ryan, that are going to miss all the spring ball coming off surgery or injury?
Yeah, there's a litany of them, really. But those guys are doing a good job attacking the rehab, and I'll be glad to get them back.
I noticed some. I noticed some of the helmets had stripes on them during practice. Is there a meaning behind that?
Yeah, just to see where they're looking from a film standpoint. When you don't have that stripe, sometimes it's hard to tell just where their heads turn, and that stripe just allows us to be focused on if their eyes are in the right spot pre-snap.
You referenced Coach Small earlier. How impactful has he been as strength coach and getting these guys ready?
Yeah, he's been huge, and the feedback from the players just about the way he attacks the workouts and the way he's got it structured has been phenomenal. Couldn't be more happy with the job he and his staff has done, and he's a rock star, man. I'm glad he's here.